And we fire people if they're, I mean, we give them a little bit of warning, but if they continue to be an asshole, then they're fired. So when I interview somebody, my interview question is always the same. It's
what do you ask?
I said, tell me the story of your life. And the decisions that you made along the way and why you made them.
College, university?
No, there's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school.
Sure. Well, I think the massive thing that can be done is to make sure your incentive structure is such that innovation is rewarded and lack of innovation is punished. So there's got to be a carrot and a stick. So if somebody is innovating and making good progress, then they should be promoted sooner. And if somebody is completely failing to innovate, not every role requires innovation, but if they're in a role where innovation should be happening and it's not happening, then they should either not be promoted or exited. And let me tell you, you'll get promoted. You'll get innovation real fast.
How much Musk is in Tesla and SpaceX and Hyperloop? Is it 100% you or?
Oh, well, of course, definitely not. I mean, I certainly have a strong influence, but I mean, there are many people at the companies. So SpaceX has 4,000 people now. Tesla, we just passed 10,000 people today. The ability to attract and motivate great people is critical to the success of a company, because a company is it's a group of people that are assembled to create a product or service. That's the purpose of a company. People sometimes forget this elementary truth. And so if you're able to get great people to join the company and work together towards a common goal, and you sort of have a relentless sense of perfection about that goal, then you will end up with a great product. And if you have a great product, lots of people will buy it. And then the company will be successful.
Yeah.
But really, it's pretty straightforward, really. I mean, I think like sometimes they're just like the things that seem quite clear and obvious to me, and I don't understand why they aren't so obvious to everyone.
You need a team around you to deliver a lot of ideas. How do you choose your team? Based on what?
Well, I suppose honestly that it tends to be gut feel more than anything else. So when I interview somebody, my interview question is always the same.
What do you ask?
I said, tell me the story of your life. And the decisions that you made along the way and why you made them. And then, and also tell me about some of the most difficult problems you worked on and how you solved them. And that question I think is very important, because the people that really solved the problem, they know exactly how they solved it. They know the little details. And the people that pretended to solve the problem, they can maybe go one level and then they get stuck.
Yeah. Coming back to you looking for a CEO, apart from CEOs, when you hire people, what kind of skills do you want them to have? Are there any? Do you look at a list and look at people? How do you decide that?
Well, I mean, when I interview somebody, I really just ask them to tell me the story of their career and what are some of the tougher problems that they dealt with, how they dealt with those, and how they made decisions at key transition points. And usually that's enough for me to get a very good gut feel about someone. And what I'm really looking for is evidence of exceptional ability.
College or university?
No, there's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school. I mean, if somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be capable of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. If you look at, say, people like Bill Gates or Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, these guys didn't graduate from college.
More dropouts, yeah.
But if you had a chance to
Yeah.
hire them, of course, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, okay.
So, just we're looking just for evidence of exceptional ability. And if there's a track record of exceptional achievement, then it's likely that that will continue into the future.
I think we need to push for radical breakthroughs. And if you don't push for radical breakthroughs, you're not going to get radical outcomes. And that does mean taking risks. Common sense that if you take a big risk, in order to have a big reward, there must be a big risk. It's most of the time you cannot find big reward for small risk. Those are rare. So you're going to have some proportionality of the risk and reward. Failure must be an option. If failure is not an option, it's going to result in extremely conservative choices, and you may get something even worse than lack of innovation. Things may go backwards.
What sort of things do you think about in terms of motivating a workforce like we have in the Department of the Air Force that will help them become more radically innovative? What sort of things do you look for in people or in processes that make the workforce better?
Sure. Well, I think the massive thing that can be done is to make sure your incentive structure is such that innovation is rewarded and lack of innovation is punished. So if somebody is innovating and making good progress, then they should be promoted sooner. And if somebody is completely failing to innovate, not every role requires innovation, but if they're in a role where innovation should be happening and it's not happening, then they should either not be promoted or exited. And let me tell you, you'll get promoted. You'll get innovation real fast. You want reward and punishment to be proportionate to the actions that you seek. So if what you're seeking is innovation, then you should reward success in innovation, and only there should be minor consequences for trying and failing. There should be minor. With significant rewards for trying and succeeding, minor consequences for trying and not succeeding, and big and major negative consequences for not trying.
Okay.
So if you have that incentive structure, you will get innovation like you can't believe.
We have a strict no assholes policy at SpaceX, and we fire people if they're. I mean, we give them a little bit of warning, but if they continue to be an asshole, then they're fired.
That's innovative, right?
Yeah, because otherwise, if your boss is an awful person, you're going to hate coming to work.